Hey, everybody, welcome in. It's Friday. Congratulations. Not only did you make it to Friday, you made it to an Avs game day Friday. So we got a great evening of content lined up for you guys here. And yes, if you're seeing the title of this show, it is Pyramid Day here on Guerilla Sports Off Ice at the Guerilla Sports Studios. My name's Jesse Montano. Going to be joined by Meghan Angley here in just a second. And then we have a very special guest with us today that we were planning on just having him on for a portion of the show, but I cannot wait for you guys to meet Hunter. He's going to be on for the entire Pyramid show. He's going to be weighing in with us as well. So just can't wait. As always, want to start today by reminding you guys about our great friends over at RefiJet. Did you guys know that you could refinance your auto loan? Well, with RefiJet, you could save around $150 every single month, all which is a soft credit pull and zero hassle. You get lower payments, flexible terms. You might even get some cash back in your pocket from your car's equity. And who couldn't use that this time of year? Look, I say it all the time. The best way to support us and the things that we're doing here at Guerilla Sports is by showing some love to our partners. So head on over refijet.com/sports. See if they can't help you out. See if they can't help save you some money every month. refijet.com/sports. It is the faster, easier way to refinance. Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Guerilla Sports Off Ice. I'm Jesse Montano. This is Meghan Angley. And this is the man of the hour right here, Hunter David Murphy. Hunter, thank you so much for joining us. We are so lucky that we've gotten connected with you through Marty and Dog Nation. And Meghan and I were up late last night texting about how excited we were to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's just start a little bit here. Let folks know who you are and why you're coming to take our jobs on this podcast here pretty quickly. How'd you get hooked up with Marty and Dog Nation and everything?
So in May of 2024, I got diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a bone cancer. I had it in my right tibia, and it was pretty high up on the knee. So last July, I had it removed, and now I have a metal leg, and I play sled hockey.
Well, having a metal leg sounds pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. Hunter, my goodness, man, you are, the folks that we've been lucky enough to meet through Dog Nation, everyone's an inspiration. But I mean, when Marty was first talking to me about you a couple weeks ago, before Colorado Day of Giving, honestly, man, you are, you're a huge inspiration to me. Like I said, I know Meghan and I were talking about that last night, and we're just so honored to have you here. Man, we talk all the time about how tough hockey players are, and boy, oh boy, do you exemplify that.
Yeah, I mean, it was during chemo, just like the leg was hurting all the time, and I just wanted to skate because my doctor wouldn't let me leave. And there's this one chemo where you have to have a certain level of it in your body before you can leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I got invited to Avs morning skate, and I couldn't go because it wouldn't go down enough.
Yeah.
And then not even 2 hours later, I see the Avs post something with 2 other kids giving the Avs a check from Make-A-Wish. And I'm like, oh, that was me.
That was supposed to be you.
Yeah, but the chemo just wouldn't leave my body.
Oh,
it was
man.
annoying.
How has hockey helped to lift your spirits?
It's nice to watch them, like, because when they're injured, I like to see them come back, and they're like super tough about it, and they're not like crying or anything whenever they get hurt. They like are on the ice, but they're not crying, and I just try not to. I don't want to say cry, but I try not to like.
Totally.
Yeah.
Their strength is inspiring to you.
Yeah. Try to be tough.
Hey, if you're like that Hunter looks familiar. He's been on the Avs broadcast twice before for Next Gen Night, which is coming up. So his resume is already incredibly impressive, and we are going to ask you questions for some tips as well. Maybe some on-camera presence questions. Like, how are you so confident and charismatic?
I I just don't want to think about the camera.
Yeah.
Because when I was on, I just wanted to talk about hockey. I didn't think of like, oh no, what do I say? What if I say this wrong?
Yeah.
But whenever I'm on, I just talk to Mosier and Riker and
Yeah.
about the game and what's going on. And I like to watch Mosier
Yeah.
because he like the way he talks so fast, and I'm like trying to pick up the names and stuff during the game when he does that.
Don't pay attention to the camera. I'm just here to talk hockey. That is
No, I know.
advice from like a 20-year TV veteran professional. I mean, that's Megan and I talk about that all the time. That's what we started doing this because we just love to talk hockey and we just love to watch it and be around. So same. So how did you first go about the getting in on the Av like the next gen stuff? Who did you first talk to?
So I was doing that 3 years before I got picked.
Wow.
And when I was doing that, I was like, every year I would go for color analyst, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was just kind of trying to talk about hockey when you do your interview video thing. And
Yeah.
I talked about what I did and what I was like, I don't want to say accomplished, but accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was my like news anchor for my elementary school that year.
Amazing.
So, and I just said that, and they loved the way I talked about hockey in that video. So they brought me on, and they said they've never received more positive reviews about someone. Like normally they're like, this kid doesn't talk at all. But they got a lot of positive reviews, and then during chemo, it was like in October, like very first games, they brought me back on against Edmonton, and that was really cool because they're like, oh, they've been asking about Hunter, and because they shared my story a couple times on their Instagram, and that's the type of stuff.
I have a feeling that we're going to have a similar thing happen here. I think the feedback is going to be overwhelming. And like I said, I think I'm going to be replaced here pretty soon. Hunter, you were telling me something super cool before we got started that, and I got to be honest with you, man, you made me a little emotional there when you were saying, you were going through chemo and all you want to do is go skate.
Yeah.
I know you haven't been able to skate necessarily in the last couple of years, but you took up sled hockey.
Yeah.
And that is, again, I told you before we started, you and I have to go out and play some sled. I've never been able to play. I'd love to. How did you get into sled hockey, and what do you think about sled hockey?
So the VP of sled hockey Colorado went to high school with my mom.
Oh, no way.
So he saw an Avs game and reached out to my mom, and he's like, hey, I'm the sled hockey VP. Would you want his stand-up team to play us in a scrimmage? So we played a scrimmage against them at a dog bowl, and that was kind of like my tryout.
Yeah.
And then I've been going to practices some September ever since.
That's awesome. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, it's so fun. All the guys, all the kids on there, they're super nice. They all have their own stories, and I feel like I can talk to them because they've all been through something that's like hard and I feel like they understand each other and
totally
like all that stuff. It's super fun.
Colorado is a hub for a lot of sled hockey too. So you mentioned meeting some of the best in their sport.
Yeah.
How have some of those people been an inspiration to you?
So this one guy, Ryan Strong, he's super nice. This is my first year playing sled hockey, so I don't know how to stop. I can't lift the puck very well. So he's been like letting me borrow his sticks because my sticks are too long and you can't really cut them very easily. So he's been like giving me pointers and stuff, and he plays for the USA A team.
That's so cool.
And then in the summer we do a USA training camp with all the actual guys. So like Declan Farmer, he's super nice.
Way.
Yes, that's so cool.
Declan Farmer is such a nice guy. I met him at the dog bowl this year.
Yeah.
He's so nice.
You do a lot of stuff with Dog Nation. What is it? What can you say about what Marty does? And I mean, you were telling us some stories before we got started here. And
Stories on stories.
We could do 2 whole podcasts just on some of the stories you've got, some of the people you've been able to meet.
Yeah, Marty, the Dog Bowl is just such a great event because they have NHL players, they have all these different players, and it's all for a great cause. Like they have an auction, they have all this sorts of stuff that you can donate, and it all goes to someone.
Yeah.
Like last year's golf tournament at the DU golf thing,
hmm
I was the recipient. So I got $50,000 from Marty and the Dog Nation. And this past year, it was someone who got paralyzed in a truck accident.
hmm
And it's just been super fun to hang out with Marty and meet all these players. And like, he's kind of got me back into like what it means to be a hockey player and help and give back to the community.
Amazing, Hunter. That's absolutely amazing. And Megan knows I'm a staunch defender, and I know so is Megan, of this hockey community, because it's so special. It's filled up with people like you.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted to talk hockey, so we're going to talk plenty of hockey here. We're going to talk a bunch of Avs. We're going to get into some of the players. What have you thought of the start to the season for them?
I like that the NHL posted a thing like 4th team in NHL history to go 20-something games with only 1 regulation loss. And I think that we have a really deep team, and Galvin Brindley has been an amazing addition to us.
Totally.
And all the players that we've added, we didn't give away that many players, but for who we've got back is really, the team is what it is right now. Like Parker on the penalty kill and our defense is stacked.
Sick, right?
And we are really deep. Like we're putting friggin' Brock Nelson on the 3rd line. Like this is a really deep team.
Chris McFarland's done a pretty good job.
Yes.
We've talked about that you traded Mikko Rantanen last year, and you have to defend that, but I think it's all washed out pretty well here to start the season.
Yeah.
How did you become an Avs fan?
Well, I lived in Leadville when I was 3, and I played hockey, and I remember going to a game when I was 4. I just loved watching the hockey, and my mom was an Avs fan before, and I just was around that my whole life.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool to watch them get better. Luckily, I was only 3 in 2016. So
okay, that's great.
Don't have to remember.
Nothing else happened before that.
Nothing.
2 things happened before that.
Don't have to relive the painful memories of the 48-point season.
Yeah.
How old were you then for the 2022 Cup?
I think I was 9.
Perfect.
I have a picture of me at the Avs watch party when they won Game 6.
Nice.
I was watching with my mom, and it was just me and my mom because my brothers were too young to understand what everything was.
Yeah.
And I made a homemade Stanley Cup out of bowls, buckets, and a flower pot.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
You knew what they were taking it all.
Yeah. And I watched every game. I went to the first Nashville first round, first game, Predators game.
Yes.
When they won 7-3.
Yeah, so they smoked them in that game.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Gerard.
Nice.
He's been so nice to me, and I like to say he didn't treat me as a kid with cancer. He treats me like a human being who knows hockey.
Yeah. Well, you definitely know hockey. There was something you said a second ago, Megan, that sparked a thought for me, and I can't remember what it was now.
I asked about the 2022 team and that he knew they were taking it all that year.
And you talked about where you grew up, and it made me think of the fact that you went up to Carbondale last weekend for that NHL, not even necessarily alumni, Legends game.
Yeah.
You got to tell us a couple stories about that. How was the game? How was the weekend?
It was cold.
It was cold.
And
speaking my language.
Yeah. And I went to a cancer camp in March, and my adult buddy who kind of gave us food and stuff for this.
Yeah.
She gave me a ticket because she lives in Aspen.
Wow.
Nice.
So she gave me a ticket. My mom got her own, and we went up on Saturday at 9 o'clock. So we went up. We got there in time for the game. I got a bunch of signatures and Marc-Andre Fleury's. So that was the first signature I got, and I talked to Fleury a bit, and he's such a nice guy, and he was super excited to be there. He's playing against older guys who he's played with when they were good. I think and it was really fun to talk to him and Lundqvist, and I talked to Tyson Berry a little bit.
Cool. Nice.
It was really nice, and all the influencers they did a whole influencer shootout, And that was super fun to watch.
That was the crazy part because I had known about a bunch of the players, but yeah, you were listing off all the influencers and all the social media hockey personalities over there. It was a packed event.
Yeah. We had the Ollie Postonen, Jacob Bardown, old timer. They had Swaggy P there, and they had Biz. Biz was there, and I got to talk to him a little bit about everything. And then I listened to the Spit and Chicklets all the time, every episode I've listened to, and I talked to him a little bit about that because all the people were there. It was a event where it's just outside, and tickets aren't even that much, and you just are. It's a event that not Aspen kids go to, Colorado Extreme.
Yeah.
Which kind of built the whole event.
Oh, wow.
I met all the kids there. I had one of my friends up there. It was really nice to see. They raised $1 million for Colorado Extreme.
Holy cow!
And it was from Thursday to Sunday.
Wow,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Amazing event.
That's so awesome. Tickets were not expensive. You had to just pay the price with how cold you were.
Yeah.
It was cold. I had one sweatshirt that I wanted everyone to sign, and I got everyone to sign it. And I was wearing my Crocs. And
hey,
it was cold out. The snow was on the ground. I almost slipped and fell a couple times. It was cold.
But you didn't fall. That's all.
I didn't fall.
You didn't
fall. Leg held strong.
Yeah.
Didn't fall.
It sounds awesome.
I'm often cold, and I'm also a huge Crocs guy.
Yeah.
I didn't wear my Crocs today because I got to go back to the game tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on the Crocs.
Yeah, you basically mini Jesse
Yes.
at this point.
Honestly, and like I said, my job is in jeopardy. I can feel it already.
Did Biz do the shootout?
So Biz, I think he had too many drinks to do the shootout. I think he was supposed to, but when I took the picture with him, he was like it was wobbly and
a couple.
He slipped a bit.
Couple
And he gave my mom a
ones.
bottle of Pink Whitney.
Tyson.
So
Oh, you're right. His own.
That was the best answer you could have possibly given on that, Hunter. Well, awesome. Should we get into it?
Yeah. Abs are a wagon.
And
let's talk about it.
There's two things I'm going to say here before we officially get into it. One, we had originally said that we'll talk to Hunter and then we'll get into the pyramid. But we found out pretty quickly Hunter knows puck.
Yeah,
so
supreme puck knowledge.
Hunter's staying on to go through the pyramid list, and then I'm gonna put it out there, Hunter, because you were just telling Marty right before we started. And I just got to let people know you've been playing sled because you haven't been able to skate.
yeah.
But it sounds like that might be changing.
Yeah. So a month ago,
Yeah.
I had an appointment with my doctor, and 2 days later, I was at my brother's hockey game, and he texted my mom. He's like, if he can get his leg strong enough, we can make it work to where he can play competitive hockey again.
Oh,
And when I was told in last June, he said, if you go with this surgery, you cannot play hockey again. And he was very you cannot play.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can play, and I'm just trying to get my leg better, trying to get it working to where I can play next year, which it sounds like I can. And I will be doing sled as well, because sled doesn't have that many tournaments, and sled, the guys at sled, they're really nice, and I like hanging with them, and I like going to their practices. And sled doesn't overlap with stand-up unless I have a stupid early game on Saturday, which I shouldn't have, but it'll be pretty fun to do both.
That's so cool. I'm glad you found both.
Yeah, and we are so excited for you, and we're going to be rooting for you the whole way to see you get back on skates. And I don't know, maybe we'd even love to come do something, bring some cameras out when you're getting back on skates. That'd be awesome.
Post-game interviews.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go to Old Foothills because Sammy knows the owner at Old Foothills up in, I don't even know where. But
sure.
I go there. I try to go there every Tuesday after school and Thursday after school. So they give me free ice time after school before high school gets on.
Yeah.
So I try to do that as much as I can and just get back to the leg strength, the shooting, everything.
Well, we're so excited for you.
That's awesome.
And Hunter's getting back on skates, and we are so here for it.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of work in.
All right. Well, so Hunter, let's talk some abs here. We're gonna be doing our signature player pyramid rankings here for 10 game segments. And we want to make sure we're clear on this is for games 21 to 30. So the last handful of games we don't have in this pyramid. We're a little bit late on this pyramid because these current slated games will be on the 31 through 40 pyramid. So, Hunter, we are ranking players based on what we thought for the games 20 to 30. As we go through, we're going to get your take on each one of these guys and how you think they're playing so far. Sound good?
And if you hate our pyramid, you are allowed to tell us, Like,
I thought you were going to say, if you hate our pyramid, it was Jesse's.
And it was Jesse's pyramid. That's also true.
So top 15 players for the Avs through the 10 game segment, games 20 to 21 to 30. And again, similar to the first pyramid, Hunter, we struggled with this because normally players near the bottom are players that we want to see play better.
Mhm.
We think pretty much everyone's playing well for the Avs right now. So this is basically just ranking how good everybody has been. And we're starting with one of your guys and the PK master. And I mean that on multiple fronts, I guess. PK, penalty kill.
Yeah.
And Parker Kelly kicking off on the pyramid here. And Megan, for me, he's maybe been the glue on this penalty kill.
Ugh, penalty Kelly.
Penalty Kelly.
No, but actually he has. And it's the shot blocking, his commitment, aggressive coverage. I think it's lended to some shorthanded chances. They don't always capitalize on them, but he's always got that motor running. He works his butt off, and he's also been really versatile. And so as some of the depth has been shifted, guys like Bardakov out of the lineup, Rantanen joining it, he's been flexible, and it hasn't affected his game, and the production's been more than I expected from him. He had a goal and an assist in this last 10 game stretch that we're talking about, but 6 goals and 6 assists on the season.
Is it seriously 6 goals?
Yes.
Holy smokes. I haven't checked in the last couple weeks. Holy cow, Parker.
And he had the opening goal in that New York Rangers overtime winning game off of that Malinsky shot. And he's had actually 2 goals like that this season. But in this last 10 game stretch, he finds himself in the right places on the ice. And I think people underestimate him.
What do you think of Parker Kelly?
He's a really nice guy. And I remember one game last year, he blocked like 6 shots.
Yes.
In like 10 seconds. It was, I believe, overtime. And I don't know what team it was against, but he was like just laying out after shot block after shot block after shot block. And I talked to him after the game. He said his leg hurt so bad because he took a slap shot from, I don't remember who, but it was a really fast slap shot, and it went right above the shin pad. Oof. And it hit him. And that was like the first shot block that he did. He was like, I can't let the goal.
So he's like, all I got to do. I remember that game, and he's a warrior. No doubt about it. He is a warrior. So there's Parker Kelly kicking things off on the pyramid. Any other thoughts on Parker Kelly? Let's keep it moving here. Val Nichushkin, 14th on the pyramid here. And Megan, he's dealt with some injury stuff. When he came back, maybe wasn't quite as immediately impactful as we've seen Val in the past. But suddenly here, Megan, strung together a nice kind of glob of production and starting to look a little bit more like that impactful version of Val Nichushkin that we've come to expect.
Yeah, I think the injury is the only reason he's lower on this pyramid is his impact hasn't been quite as much as we're used to seeing through this point in the season. But over this last 10 game stretch, 2 goals and an assist, including the game winning goal against the Flyers, which was that second game in a back-to-back. I was worried because, they got the win against New York, but it was in overtime. I figured they weren't going to be operating with a full tank, and it was an important, timely goal then in that case. And then Angry Val in the Nashville game here at home, like a team high 8 shots on net. He gets the empty netter, but I think he's just been playing really good hockey that it doesn't always show up on the score sheet in terms of production, but I've really liked the energy that he's been playing with this last, 10 game stretch.
He's so important to that top 6 in terms of what he does for the versatility of where you can slot guys in, move guys around. He just really changes the dynamic of that, the top part of the lineup. Hunter, Val Nichushkin, thoughts on the choo-choo train?
He's a big guy, and he's definitely been contributing to the past games. And when that road trip up in the East,
New York,
that was a long road trip.
Yeah.
Didn't start off well, but then Nichushkin kind of got them going in the Flyers game, and I think he was he kind of set the tone after that. Like, hey guys, we lost the game. No, that we don't think about that. We just next game, focus on this. Flyers, we got to win. Rangers, we got to win last night. Try to win again. And it wasn't even 24 hours after. It was a day game. Too. So they were like 12 hours after they had morning skate, and then they did the game at like 1.
Yep.
And that was a pretty early game for a back-to-back, and he scored.
To the point you just made about back-to-back, the conditioning that we hear about from a guy like Val Nichushkin a lot, just a guy that can play a lot of minutes, even in those situations like you were just talking about, Hunter. You're totally right.
Yeah.
Anything else on Val? All right. Moving on down the list here, Dancin' Manson. And if we were talking games 31 through 40, I might have had him a little bit further
that Seattle game.
But Megan, I've really liked what Josh has given the Avs in this first, almost, isn't it crazy? We're almost the first half of the season. But I've really liked what Josh has given the Avs this year.
Yeah, honestly, I had him like a hair higher in my original pyramid, and it's just because of the acknowledgement playing on his offside with Brent Burns and still being a trusted, reliable defender, eating up minutes on the kill. I think the production started to come through in his game a little bit more here lately too, with a goal and 5 assists over this last 10-game stretch. And so I've seen shades of Dancin' Manson this whole season, but in this last stretch too, there will be a play and I'm seeing a guy skating through traffic with the puck, and it's Josh Manson, and it always surprises me a little, and it definitely shouldn't. It's just that puck skill that sometimes sneaks up on you. I think I've seen it more here lately, and a huge credit to him in taking on the challenge too of playing on his offside to make this Brent Burns pairing work, because we aren't really talking about it in a good way. We're not having issue with it.
Well, and talk about versatility from a player like Manson, where, he gets engaged physically. He's responsible in his own end. But to your point, he's jumping into rushes. He's leading rushes. He's standing in front of the net, tipping pucks on some plays, mucking it up, playing on his offside. The way that him and Burns, like, you even see them, switching back and forth on, even particular shifts, things like that. The versatility Josh Manson has brought has been great. Hunter, you're a defenseman. Are you out there throwing your weight around like Josh?
I mean, I would say so.
Yeah.
But when you're that big of a defenseman, you gotta take hits and give them out. And that fight against Marchment, where I could feel like that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
totally.
And I don't like Marchment at all. Like, former Dallas. I feel like Manson knew what his team needed for them to get that extra, like, okay, guys, let's go, let's do this. And he fought, and then Burns got into a scrum, and that's what a defenseman is supposed to do if you're that big and have that type of body.
You're totally right, and I know you're right because Josh told me that after the game. He said, hey, I felt like our team needed a little something to get going, and McKinnon scored right after that. So you're totally right. And
we hate Mason Marchment.
And Mason Marchment is a bit of a weasel, not gonna lie. Josh Manson, Dancin' Manson. Gosh, knock on wood here a bit, but like this is the best we've seen him play, and I think it's been a result of the fact that he's been able to consistently stay in the lineup. Keep it moving here. Roscoe, Ross Colton, especially during that 10-game stretch, 20 to 30, he was elevated onto that second line, playing on the wall. And Megan, I actually thought it was among the most effective that we've seen Ross Colton in his time in Colorado.
It's always tough too, because when he's elevated in a top 6 role with top 6 skill and matchups on the wall, he plays really well, going back to last year before he broke his foot. And so this last stretch has been really great for him. A goal, 2 assists, one of those being to kick off the scoring in that 6-0 shutout win over San Jose. It was an absolute dominant performance, but I don't want to gloss over the goal that opens up this game. It's that glove side off the rush from Landeskog from Taves. Ross Colton just beats goaltender clean. And so I think, when I look at the goals, I was actually surprised that it was just a goal and 2 assists in this last stretch, because it just felt like there's been a little bit more production from him, but still 5 goals, 9 assists on the year. And I think that he is better understanding how to pivot and adjust to the different opportunities as they come, because I don't think he had a bad attitude when he was playing the third line opportunity with Olofsson earlier in the year. And so I think in being elevated, he was ready for that moment, and he's brought the same energy pretty consistently.
What do you think of Ross?
Like you said, in the battles on the wall, he's winning those battles when you need him to win those battles. Like if you're down in a game and you need the puck to get a goal, to get the guys moving, he goes to the wall. He wins those battles. He wins the corner battles. He gets the puck when you need him to get the puck off of the other team or out of the other team's hands, and he just does really well when he does that.
Really
great point.
Really hard-nosed player for someone who's got, like you said, some skill and speed to his game. He does. He plays really hard along the wall, and I think he exemplifies, and what he's done, excuse me, for the Avs to start this season is like modern day energy guy. Like I feel like back, in like the early 2000s before you were born, Megan.
Before I was born.
Like energy guys were kind of your grinders, muckers, whatever.
Right.
Ross Colton, I think, is a 2025 energy player exemplified. And I just think that to both of your points, what he's brought beyond the score sheet, I think has just gone a long way for the Avs depth this year.
I'm so glad Hunter mentioned the battles, because if you look at like the hits per 60, Ross is tracking pretty high in this category among all players. And it surprises you at the end of the night to look at the hit total that he's pretty consistently among the team high.
Yeah. Let's keep moving here. Next up on the pyramid, Artturi Lehkonen. And this is another guy that honestly probably could have been much higher up on the pyramid. Totally. But this was yet another pyramid where I looked at Megan and I was like, there just too many guys have played well. Too many guys have been impactful. I don't have much else to say about Lehkonen because I don't know what else there is to say about him at this point. I think one of the most underrated guys in the league and just does everything right.
Yeah, he's had a really good last stretch doing very Artturi Lehkonen things too. I want to shout out the Florida game, the Malinsky goal. He's a screen at the net front and establishing himself there. And then the Nashville goal where he's got a guy on his back and spins and turns and gets the rebound. He's just always willing to get to the dangerous areas and absorb a little bit of contact to stay there. It's Artturi Lehkonen in a nutshell, but it's been productive too over this last 10-game stretch. 4 goals, 4 assists for 13 goals, 15 assists on the year. It's hard to have him this low in the period. That's a perfect stretch.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I just wanted to shout it out because I loved it so much. The Nashville goal where he wins that battle in front, it came on the heels of him losing a battle in front, and you could tell he kind of slammed his stick. He was frustrated. He didn't get to a loose puck, and it was, I think 2 minutes later, same defenseman that he got tied up with before.
Swedish defenseman Adam Wilsby. and Artturi Lehkonen, won the battle to that second puck. Hunter, Jared Bednar says all the time, if there's young hockey players who are watching the Avs, do what Artturi Lehkonen does. Mm-hmm. How much do you watch Lehkonen?
I try to watch all the players, but when Lecky's on the ice, I pay attention to what he does. He skates well, he handles the puck well, he plays defense well, he hits, he does everything. He's like an all-around player. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And those guys are kind of hard to find. Yeah. When you're like in the 22 Cup run, I remember we getting him, and he scored that game-winning goal, series-winning goal against Edmonton and the Cup-winning goal. And he's just a guy who will get down dirty in the slot and tip pucks, get the rebound, and just one of those guys who does everything that you need him to do, like Manson.
For I think the third straight player, Hunter has made the best point that has made me think of something else. we used to talk a lot about JT Compher having that kind of clutch gene.
Mhm.
And really what you could kind of boil it down to is like, well, JT Compher's not afraid to go to the front of the net. To Hunter's excellent point, Artturi Lehkonen has sent the Avs to the Stanley Cup Finals, clinched a Stanley Cup, sent the Canadians to the Stanley Cup Finals with an overtime goal. So you sit there and you're like, oh, he's pretty clutch. He just goes to the dirty areas. He's not afraid. Y'all good?
I'm good.
Good. Okay.
Did you
All right.
swallow wrong? I do this all the time. I understand.
But Artturi Lehkonen finds himself in the right positions on the ice, and that's why it seems like he's always. Wow, why does he always come up with the big goals? Well, because he's in the right area.
He's such a complete player. He doesn't abandon parts of his game.
Totally. Again, Hunter, this will be my last pod. I'm already seeing it in the chat. This will be Guerilla Sports Off Ice with Hunter and Megan starting next episode. Here's another player that, again, Megan, you and I actually toyed with moving him up and maybe tying him to somebody else, but did deal with a couple games of injury. So that's maybe why we've got him a little bit lower. Someone who I think is still in the running for Team Canada, and it's Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah.
Again, not a ton to say here. He's been great for the Avs, and he just continues to be fantastic in that room. And I think he's a big reason why, as Ross Colton told me in Seattle, the vibes have just been different for this team.
Yeah. Dealt with a little injury, so just played fewer games in this stretch, 1-0-2 in that time, including the 22 save shutout over Chicago in that back-to-back where the team lacked a little bit of energy. So that was huge, and he survived the Nashville shootout despite getting taken out by Philip Forsberg. So still a really good stretch from Wedgwood, just missed a bit of time.
Yeah.
What have you thought of Wedgie to start this year?
I'd take him over Bennington any day.
Oh! That's all we need to say.
That's
We're
perfect.
moving on. What an answer there from Hunter. What an answer. Moving on here. We are on to the next rung of the pyramid. Step? Rung? Level?
Those are all perfectly
All right,
acceptable.
perfect. Again, another guy that I think he moved quietly up the pyramid, Megan. And again, I think maybe the reason we have Devon Taves maybe as low as we do is just he just continues to hum along, take care of his business, and just just taking care of seems like every puck that comes down his side of the ice.
I feel like, too, if they tracked tertiary assists outside of secondary, Taves would have more points in this last stretch in what he's done to create the breakout in transition. And it just doesn't, show up on NHLstats.com. But a goal and 3 assists officially, but I think that he's done some really great work to help get the Avs set up on the attack over this last stretch. And it's run through him in a lot of ways. Like, he leans on Makar to help complement what they're trying to do to create up ice. But Taves has been making some really excellent plays to be a part of the offense. And I don't think he's gotten, the credit he deserves. And this has been a really good segment for him.
Hunter, this is another player. Again, you're a defenseman.
Yeah.
I always tell defensemen, watch what Devon Taves does. I have a running joke going with Corey Massasak, writes for the Denver Post, friend of the show, that Devon Taves turns more odd man rushes against the Avs into offensive opportunities for the Avs than like any defenseman I've ever seen.
Yeah, and like you said, him and Makar are such a good pair, and that's why they haven't won Team Canada together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when he helps Makar be what Makar is.
Totally.
He sets Makar up for those little blue line dances.
Yep.
And that's kind of what a D partner is supposed to do.
Mhm.
He's give it to the guy who can do what he can do, find a lane, find a guy to tip the puck in. And Taves shoots too. He other than passing, which he does, which is he's really good at setting Makar up.
Great vision.
And he has those, like you said, those assists. He can he sets Makar's up all the time, and Makar then shoots it and gets the rebound and all that type of stuff with the
You got to have two players that not just play together but complement each other.
Definitely.
Right? Yep. And I think these guys do that, like you said, maybe better than anyone else, and that's why they're going to be.
I think the Hunters should be making decisions around Team Canada.
Ooh, that's a great call. I completely agree. Because again, just based on what he said in net, be making some better decisions anyways.
I already decided that.
All right, moving along here. again, and I think every single one of these guys, Megan, starting with Lekkinen, I think has a real argument that could be higher up. And maybe one of the most pleasant surprises that shouldn't have been a surprise, it's Brent Burns.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 years old, and this guy has been fantastic for the Avs. Quietly, the production just continues to tick up. And in the same vein of what we were just talking about, what Hunter was just talking about with Taves and Makar, man, it seems like they found something here with Burns and Manson.
Yeah, 40 years old and continuing to play at this level and taking on, pretty top matchups in the top 4 for the back end, eating up big minutes on the kill, 2 goals, 3 assists in this last stretch, and that huge 7-2 win over Montreal at home. It was at one point made 3-0 because of what ultimately became the game-winning goal from Brent Burns. And so I don't think they've needed to lean on him to be the guy that they look for when they need a goal, but he's provided the goal scoring as we've seen in other stages of his career, but he's been steady and he's worked really well with Manson. And, there have been years where we love Manson and Girard together or we don't. And I've just had no issue with Manson and Burns as a pairing. I think they make a lot of sense and I haven't looked back.
No, I completely agree. I think I think saying they make a lot of sense is the right way to put it. Has Burns surpassed your expectations this year, Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, he's old. He's been playing since, I want to say 2006, where Corey Perry was also drafted. Don't like him. And
he's old.
He also gets in front of the net and blocks shots. Like,
yeah,
he's big defenseman, and him and Manson together.
Yeah,
that's a scary pair. They're huge
definitely
together.
Big time.
They can send 100-mile-an-hour slap shot to get a rebound on goalies that don't give up like shots from the point, but a lot of rebounds.
Yep.
And when he plays, you can see in Carolina, him, Natchez, and Drury, they all played in Carolina. You can see they kind of have the same style.
Yep.
Where they shoot the puck, they get it in, they get the rebound, and they score.
Yep.
And they kind of just want to Burns and Manson just get the puck to the front of the net, where they can get that rebound, which gets the most goals.
So again, Hunter with a great point. So it was funny. It was in Seattle, so not necessarily part of this 10-game stretch, but I know that Burns took a shot. Manson went point to point, and Burns took this shot, and it ended up kind of getting blocked through traffic. But I was like, man, that was kind of a weird shot selection. But it's exactly what Hunter was just talking about. Brent Burns wants to just get pucks to the net. I want to get pucks there because I know if I put pucks to the net, there's a chance it's going to get tipped. There's going to be a rebound. There's going to be chaos in front of the net. And I think that's maybe an underrated part that we aren't talking about enough is Brent Burns on a team that we talk about maybe needs to shoot the puck a little bit more. Brent Burns does not have to be told twice to shoot.
I think, later when we talk about Malinsky in the pyramid, I think the shooting influence of Brent Burns is not to be understated because I think it's, across the D-corps, everybody seems to be shooting a little bit more, or there's just that emphasis on it. And I think it starts with a lot of what Brent Burns does well, leads by example, brings a lot of energy and fun to what he's doing too. And I think it's contagious.
Yeah, I completely agree. Speaking of being contagious, this is a player who's further down on the pyramid ranking because he battled through some illness.
Okay, that's funny.
Now, again, struggled in some games, but just continues to roll along with the production. And that's really all you're asking for out of Marty Necas. Continue to put up the points, continue to find a way to produce for this team. And despite going through a little bit of a rough stretch where, man, he had an illness that took him out for a while.
Yeah.
Continue to put up points, Megan.
Yeah. Neck and neck with Mikko Rantanen in the points race. He is 45 on the year, a goal and 14 assists in this last stretch, 10 points in 5 games. He factored on every goal in that New York Rangers overtime win game.
Yep.
And he's been battling illness. So it's kind of hard to have any sort of complaint around what Marty Necas is doing. We just saw what he was doing at the start of the year. He set a standard for himself that it's a high one.
It is a high one. And again, we point out the comparison to Mikko Rantanen because that's what you're looking for out of him production-wise.
Right.
Hunter, the Avs picked up Marty Necas last year, and him and Nate looked really good together. Took them some time to find that chemistry, but they're really fun to watch.
Yeah. And I think the reason they work so well together is because Marty's fast. He can skate, like he can join rushes when he's all the way back at the blue line and they're already up there, he can skate so fast that he
Yep.
can get up to where he needs to be and then set up a pass. Like you said, 14 assists in the past 10 games.
Yeah.
He's setting up people to get goals to where then we get a lead, we win the game, or just at least build some momentum where he sets players up. Like I said, Taves and Manson and Burns, they all set each other up because they complement each other so well. And Nate just complements Nate because he's fast. He can set Nate up with the one-timer in the circle, and I think that's why they work so well together.
He also does a good job of drawing some attention away from Nate, eh? Like, you know, you got to respect that Marty Netchus might shoot, might score, might skate, and that takes attention off of Nate, and that I think is good for everybody on the Avs when Nate's more open.
Yeah.
So Marty Netchus rounding out that tier of the pyramid, moving up. There he is. There he is. Sam Malinsky. I don't know if this is the highest we've ever had him on the pyramid, but Megan, there's no question this is the best we've seen him play. Did you catch his new nickname in the locker room?
Ufa.
UFA.
I know.
I'd have to imagine the Avs are looking at what Sam Malinsky is doing right now and going, we need to get that nickname gone.
Yeah, we need to extend this guy ASAP. We can't walk him into free agency. It would be really hard to match what the market value probably is for a right-handed defenseman who just continues to get better every year in the league. Like, this is only his second full season in the NHL, and he's already sitting at a new career high in points, 2 goals, 4 assists in this last 10-game stretch, had a goal and an assist in that Florida game. Thought that was one of his best performances, and Jared Bednar specifically shouted out his heavier play more than anything in his own end to close out plays quickly, just be a little harder to play against. So the offense, it's fun, and probably shouldn't surpass expectation, right? Like, that's the way he likes to play. But I think you look at, he's nearing 20 minutes on the PK, getting some reps in there. He's earning a lot more trust, and I think he's feeling more confident above all else. Cale Makar said he was underrated. Bednar said he was a pleasant surprise. He belongs really high in the pyramid.
15 career high, 15 points in 76 games last season. 18 points through 33 games already this season. Hunter, we really like the way that Sam Malinsky plays. I say often he reminds me of a light version of Cale Makar. What do you like about Sam Malinsky when you watch him, or not like? You don't have to always like him.
He's very underrated for a third line defenseman.
Yep.
He scores goals. He sets people up like a defenseman's supposed to. He works with Girard, who got that 1 goal in Seattle game, and he's been helping Girard, and they've been helping each other. And Malinsky had 2 points in that Florida game, a goal and an assist. And that game was pretty big.
Yeah,
it was against the
important.
Cup championship,
right?
Champions, and I think he's playing really well with us. I think he should get paid.
Yes,
I think we should try to keep this team together.
Yep.
But with Malinsky, I think we need him, and he deserves to be more than a third line defenseman. But then again, our team is so deep to where we have to put him there, and like Makar and Taves, Manson and Burns, those are 2 really good lines. Then him and Sammy, they're small, but they generate points.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know Sammy, he's not 5'10". No, he's not 5'10".
Hunter, I think he's been right about everything he's said.
Seriously. No lies detected at all.
He's the same height as my mom. And I think 5'10" on skates, they're the same height. Malinsky's taller, but they are tiny guys as defensemen. And they do complement each other really well when they skate and are on the ice together.
Yeah, I completely agree. And again, another good point.
Yet another correct opinion.
I think Sam Malinsky, and Jared even talked about this last year at points when Sam Malinsky was struggling a little bit. Like, he's one of those guys that you can kind of put him with anybody, and he's going to find a way to, like Hunter just said, complement what those other guys do well.
No, I agree. And I think last year we saw him get some second pair opportunity in limited viewing. And I'd like to see it again at some point. Like right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense with Manson and Burns playing the way that they are. But I agree with Hunter's take that I think there's more upside for him to be in a second pair role in the future. And the Avs should build around that.
I agree. It's been a great start for Sam Malinsky, and would be really curious to see what the conversations are in the Avs front office. Here's a player, Megan, that if we were purely talking about what's happened on the ice, maybe you'd have a hard time putting him at number one. But I think this guy currently has an argument for being number one, maybe even number two, just with how hot he is right now. And it's Brock Nelson. This is a guy that has absolutely come alive here in the last 15, 20 games. Seems like he's in the mix every single night. And the goals he's scoring are not garbage time goals. He's not just piling up free points. Brock Nelson is scoring goals, setting guys up in big moments, and it really looks like he's settling into his role here.
Yeah, some timely goals too when they've needed them, and it's been highly productive this last stretch. 6 goals, 3 assists, that 4-point night against Montreal, and then a 3-game goal streak going back to that Philadelphia game, that second game in a back-to-back. Val had a big game, Brock had a big game, and then he just got goals in the next couple. And so he's heating up, and this is why he's been a 30-goal scorer multiple times in his career. And so I'm glad to see him finally get the results, because I think there was a quiet start for him in Colorado and some worry around what he'd be. Even with changing line mates at times, I think he's really found his rhythm, and we're starting to see the true nature of Brock Nelson.
It's one of those things like they brought him in at the deadline. We all felt like right as the Avs got eliminated was when he was starting to find his stride. He got his family moved out here. They got settled. And to me, Megan, I watch it and I say, this looks like a guy that is settling in where he's at, the team he's on, his role. And I think it's good for Brock. What have you thought of Brock Nelson, Hunter?
He's a big guy. He's 6'4",
huge. Yep,
6'4" center. He gets in the front of the net. He screens the goalie, which I think, and he tips the puck, which I think is why he has 13 goals on the season and 9 assists. He gets in the front of the net, and if he gets that rebound, he sees someone who's backdoor, he passes it to them in the slot, and he gets goals and assists because he's such a big guy and can make that kind of a difference in front of the net. Like, he wins those battles in front of the net to where he can screen the goalie, and the goalie doesn't see anything, and he gets a shot from a car or any defenseman, and they tip it and goes in. That's the kind of dynamic you want to have when you're a winning team, and that's why they're such a good team right now.
Well, and we think back because everyone talks about Nazem Kadri as the 2C on the 2022 Cup team.
He just got traded.
And what?
He got traded to the Devils.
I think these were mock trades.
Mock trades?
I think so.
I was gonna say, I was like, what? I think we're breaking some news here. Okay, yeah. So it sounds like they're talking about it, but we'll keep an eye on that.
I could see. No, I don't even want to say it out loud.
Wait a minute. Tate McRae was at the Flames game last night.
Wait a minute. I know.
Sorry.
That's our Alberta
I should have
girl.
assumed that you knew that. But talk a lot about Nazem Kadri and what he brought to that second line role. And to Hunter's point, Brock Nelson is a big guy, but he's got that skill. He's a really nice mix. He's different from what they have otherwise going down the middle. That was Brock Nelson. Moving along here, it's the captain and Megan. We had him high up on the pyramid the first time around because of what he'd brought back from a leadership standpoint and all that. The production and the on-ice results are starting to come as well. But I talked to several guys about it here over the last couple of weeks, and you and I have acknowledged it. For as much as we talked about, these guys really miss Gabe Landeskog, I think even we didn't quite understand the impact he has on this group.
Yeah. One, he's been a great addition to, the Nelson-Nichushkin line. They can come at teams in waves because they're all going to compete really hard. And so I think to Hunter's point about Brock Nelson being a big guy, that's why that line works so well. And we've seen an uptick in production from him, I think, since being elevated to that line too. The 3-point night against Montreal, had that tying goal in the Minnesota game on the road. I know they don't get the winning result in the end, but that uplifted the group, certainly.
Huge.
And then with the power play, running into some struggles, they've returned to, seeing Gabriel Landeskog on that top unit. And so he's had 2 power play points through this last 10-game stretch that I think is a reflection of there's a reason, the 3-headed monster once upon a time worked so well, and Gabriel Landeskog still has that in his game. Yeah. And so it's just such a great option to have net front on the power play to return to for a reason. And I think this last stretch, in addition to the production, the leadership, and helping them to navigate sometimes the low points when they're not completely at their game, it's Gabriel Landeskog who's racing to win battles for pucks, to wave off icing calls, even though he's on half a knee, right? Like it's Gabriel Landeskog also just playing in as many games as he has. That's been huge.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the fact that he hasn't missed any games. Hunter, so you you said you were 9 when they won in 22. So you definitely remember Gabe Landeskog at his peak.
Oh yeah, and he's the captain, so he leads the team, and like when they need I want to say energy boost.
Yep.
Like when they need to get going and have the momentum, he like gives them, I want to say, a pep talk and stuff like that. And like you said, half a knee his first season, back with like actually playing a season. Yeah. He's had 20 minutes, nearly 20 minutes of ice time each game, and that's a lot. And he's the captain, and I think he's asking Bednar, like, give me more time. I can do this. I'm ready. I'm back. I don't want to be held back from what I can actually accomplish.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. And I think, and Jared kind of said that to us of like, we listen to Gabe and like, we trust him. And you're totally right on the pep talk. He knows the right things to say at the exact right moment for this group. And I think it's made a big difference. All right, moving into our top 3 here. And Megan, we knew that this was coming from this guy. That it took him a couple games to get going. He wasn't able to skate all summer, but we had a feeling that he would find his game and start working his way up the rankings. And he has. Mackenzie Blackwood really starting to find his game for the Avs.
Yeah, the full circle moment too of his first game back being against the Sharks. They don't get the winning result, to the 6-0 shutout with 26 saves over the Sharks. Yep. I think is Mackenzie Blackwood is back, and this last stretch has been good. 6-1-0, 927 save percentage with a 920 save percentage on the season so far, 10-1-1 on the whole. He gave them an edge in that second game in the back-to-back in Philly in starting both too, which I feel is significant. But because like Hunter pointed out, there wasn't even really 24 hours, right, between. I think that they were probably feeling gassed, and Mackenzie Blackwood gave them an edge in that.
Yeah, it's you have 2 goalies that I think they just feel really confident. And I loved what Jared Bednar said this morning. You can gain a half step on offense if you trust your goaltender. You can get out of the zone a half step quicker if you trust what's going on back there. And Hunter, I think Scott Wedgwood and Mackenzie Blackwood have given them a lot of reason to have trust.
Yeah, with a 920 save percentage on the year, and he hasn't even played that many games. Wedgwood has been he's been the main goalie for the past game because, again, he's been kind of hurt and not feeling amazing.
Yep.
But with Wedgwood and Blackwood going together, they've created a 26 game, 26 win game. Game to 1. Yeah. With only 2 regulation losses and 7, I think, no. Now it's 8.
Overtime?
I think you're right. It's 7.
Yeah, I think 7. I think you're right.
7 losses in overtime. And that's getting more points. That's not like we're losing that many in regulation. We are getting points from the overtime and shootouts.
Totally.
And not that we want to be losing in those, but we're getting points. Why we're the best team in the league, because we are winning and we're not losing in regulation a whole lot. And when we do, it's not great games, but they're still fighting, and they're a really good goalie tandem, and especially Blackwood. I think they complement each other very well with the wins and the losses. They they don't have that many
They don't have
losses,
many.
and
That's
a great tandem. I feel like it's kind of like the Bruins, Swayman and Omar,
Yeah.
but better. Like that 62 game win season
Yeah.
that they had. I think we might be on track for that a little bit because these two are such good goalies.
Mhm.
It's not like a starter or a backup. They're both starters.
Yeah.
Where we can play one any night and we could probably get the win or go into overtime with either one of them.
All you're asking for out of your goalie is to give you a chance to win. And to your point, Hunter, when they're getting to overtime as often as they are, hey, if you're going to lose, you might as well get a point out of it, right? But that means that you were given a chance to win that game, and that has a lot to do with goaltending. So you're totally right. Mackenzie Blackwood, third on the pyramid, which brings us into our top two. And I don't think there's going to be a ton of surprises here. At number 2 on the pyramid is Cale Makar. Cale Makar, leading all defensemen in points in the NHL. And Megan, you know, it's funny because we talk about it all the time, you know, every couple seasons. Oh, is this kind of a down year for Cale? Last year, people felt it was a down year for him despite scoring 30 goals. This year, he looks like Cale. 40 points already to this point in the season.
Yeah, 10 goals now. And he gets his first power play goal, which is a little surprising, but it ties that Nashville game. They don't get the winning result, but that was important for him to kind of break through with a little bit of confidence there. And then that game-winning goal in the Chicago game, that was the second game back-to-back on a road trip where the top guys were a little quieter than you were used to seeing. And so he breaks through at key moments, and then he's also just a consistent 5v5 producer.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't let that take away from the power play being a little bit funky. I think they're just trying some things out because Cale Makar continues to be excellent, dominant, best at his position.
Yep. What do you think of Cale? I have a feeling I know what you think about Cale, given what number you wear.
Yeah. So in that shootout loss, Cale had 30 minutes of ice time, which is half of like a game. He played half of a game on the ice.
Right.
And I want to point out that he has a 31 plus minus, which means
on the season,
he's on the ice when he's those goals are happening.
Yep.
And he's not they're not scoring that many, other teams not scoring that many goals when he's on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's helping them get those goals and set those up, and he has 30 assists.
Yeah.
So he's setting other guys up, he's shooting the puck to the net where they can get those rebounds, those tips, and all those goals that are scored. Those are how goals are scored, where they're rebound or tipped in. Because if you're a goalie in the NHL, you're pretty good.
Yep.
You stop shots. If you're
except for Bennington.
Yeah. But you stop shots just from you need to find a lane when Cale does that. I said when we put Taves up there, he finds Cale, who then finds a lane to get a tip or rebound. And 30 assists is a lot. And not that many games either. It's only been 40 games? 30? He's had almost a point per game.
Yeah, he's actually a little bit over a point per game.
Yeah, and his plus minus is super impressive because 31. And that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Because he's helping those guys score those goals when you need them to score the goals and not give up goals either, because he's a defenseman. You're not supposed to give up goals when you're a defenseman. He's not doing that. He has pretty good plus minus in getting those goals instead of allowing them.
Yeah, and I loved your call out of Cale. I think is one of the best players in the league at getting pucks through traffic. He's really good at finding lanes through shin pads and sticks and skates and all that stuff, and he gets pucks to the net. And the Nashville game where he ties it up late, I think he took 5 shot attempts in that final minute before one finally went.
And that's why it was so nice to see him kind of break through in that way too. And it was from the point how he's used to finding the net on the power play in particular. So I think if it's not broken, don't fix it. But also I get why they're trying to find different things on the power play. But don't forget Cale.
Don't forget Cale, who's number 2 on the pyramid. And that means up at the very top, it is the NHL's point leader, Nathan MacKinnon, at the top of the second pyramid of the season. And he was the sole owner of the points lead in the NHL until Connor McDavid popped off for 14 points in 5 games.
Has played 2 more games.
But Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid sit atop the league point race with 58 a pop. I'll ask you for something on Nate, but I'm at the point where I'm the same as Jared Bednar. I don't know what else to say about this guy. I don't know what else we can say about him.
He's unbelievable. Like, just in this last stretch, right? The game-winning goal against New York. The Montreal game, 3.9, 9 points in 4 games after that.
Montreal game, that was hell for him, you mean?
Yeah. He's sick. Is that the one he's breaking sticks?
Yeah.
Just casually 3.9.
Right.
Just casually 3.9.
Oh, that game was hell. Oh, that one where you popped off? Oh, got it. Cool.
Yeah. Nate's worst is any NHL's hopeful best.
Totally. Hunter, how much fun do you have watching number 1 on our pyramid, Nathan McKinnon?
He's super fun to watch because you see him in the corner, like Marty Natchez is kind of taking the eyes off of Nate,
Yep.
but you see him in that circle waiting for that one timer on the power play, and he's got 58 points with a 41 plus minus and 28 goals, 30 assists. That's a lot for only like 42 games. What are we at? 41?
34 tonight.
34.
That's not even half the season.
That's unreal.
He's on track for like 140 points again.
Something crazy.
And when he's on doing that, he's also getting hits.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who's just like scared. Oh no, I'm not getting hit. I can't get injured.
Right.
He's had 2 hits in the Seattle game. He's not like he's scared of getting hit.
Not afraid to mix it up.
Or make hits. Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember that one night when I was at Next Gen, he made that one hit on Connor Garland. It's on the blue line, and I have this as my computer background.
Nice.
It's him, Garland falling down, and McKinnon going like, oh. And it's so funny, and I remember that game so well.
Yeah,
and it was the best.
Yeah,
game, and he sets the people up. He makes hits. He's not afraid to get dirty and stuff like that. And he's kind of hanging around a little lower in Ovi's office, but he's there.
He's there,
ready to take a one-timer, and that's where he scores most on power plays.
Yep. No, you're totally right. Who's better, McDavid or McKinnon?
McKinnon.
Good answer.
People just say McDavid because he plays for the Oilers.
I actually agree with
I don't think Hunter said anything wrong in his life.
I don't either. I think Nate's the better 200-foot player, but you know. Well, there it is. There's the official games 21 through 30 Avs player ranking pyramid as ranked by Guerilla Sports. From the top to the bottom: Parker Kelly, Val Nichushkin, Josh Manson, Ross Colton, Arturi Lehkonen, Scott Wedgwood, Devon Taves, Brent Burns, Marty Netchus, Sam Malinsky, Brock Nelson, Gabe Landeskog, Mackenzie Blackwood, Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon. And that's it. That is it for today's show. We got a couple comments here. I want to make sure that we...
Yes, there's been a lot of love in the chat.
A lot of love. See, people already wishing me goodbye. Hunter's taking over. Hunter's great. Hunter, I can't tell you how much fun that we've had having you on the show here today. You have an open invite to come back whenever you'd like.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you back on. And I just got to tell you, man, you really are. You're a big inspiration, not only to us, but to I know a bunch of folks watching. Man, you weren't always dealt the best hand, but you are tough. And you get through it, and I think we could all only aspire to have the mentality that you do and be as strong as you are. So thank you for coming in here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah.
I heard that Hunter might be starting a hockey podcast in your future, so just keep an eye out for it. We'll be sure to plug it when that day comes, but this is not the last you've heard of him talking puck.
That's right. And do you know, are you part of Next Gen Night at all? Or are you allowed to say? Not sure?
I'm not sure.
Not sure yet? All right.
They might bring me on to train the new kid.
Okay.
That's
all right.
so cool.
All right. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure yet.
Well, this is great. Hunter, like I said, man, please come back anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to get out and play some sled.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I love it. That's Hunter. I'm Jesse. She's Megan. Got John back there behind the glass. Want to give a shout out to Marty and Dog Nation for getting us hooked up with Hunter here and help bringing him in. And just to follow up real quick on the Colorado Day of Giving. And Marty, I don't know, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I heard that we have approached $101,000 raised by Dog Nation from Colorado Gives Day to now.
Wow.
So just amazing. Hunter was a recipient of Dog Nation a couple of years ago. So if you guys, are always wondering, what is it they do? Who is it they help? This is it right here. And we're really grateful to have our partnership with Dog Nation to have Hunter in here. So this has been great. Guerilla Sports Off Ice. We'll be back. We got the game tonight, so we'll have content coming your way from that. But otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Don't blow away if you're here in Colorado. Stay warm, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye.